Right then, just a Thinking Thursday update. I took my lunch break and I went to camp, and I got my big measuring stick for big fish. And while I was there, that took all of 3.1 seconds. So while I was there, I decided to dive into the electrical situation a little bit more, to try to figure out why I have no power up to the campground or to the campsite. So I went down to the meter base down at the bottom of the hill, and I opened that up because I had the tools I needed for that. I opened it up and started checking all the connections. I found two very loose connections in that meter base. Two of the main lugs that clamp down onto the wires on the main power feed wires from the transformer on the pole were super loose. It took about 6 turns to tighten them up. Both of them were that loose. So what I'm actually thinking is that this meter base unit from the factory, brand new out of the box, 25 years ago, they forgot to tighten those lugs down. It wasn't a part of the wiring process that I would do when I hook up that meter base to run power up the hill. All of my connections are done from the 100 amp double pole breaker downstream. Those connections were tight. The connections from the supply cables in the box itself from the manufacturer had never been tightened down. So how I was getting power up to the camper at all is anybody's guess, other than the possibility that the open ends of the wires were literally laying against the metal that conducts the electricity. It took about 6 turns of a great big Allen key wrench to tighten those lugs down. So I got all excited. I thought, oh, that was my problem all along. Thermal expansion, the wires finally have heated and contracted, and now they're just not touching. And I lost power up at the hill. So I jump back in the van. I drive all the way back up to the campsite. I flip on the overhead yard light. Nothing. What? I get out I open up the fuse panel up, the breaker panel up at the top of the hill. Get out my non-contact tester and I start testing. I got no power. So that leaves one thing. A tree has fallen on that cable and broke the cable. And I don't have any juice going up to the hill. So that means I got to snake a whole new cable from down at the meter base all the way up the hill to the camper. That's approximately 55 feet or more. Wow. That's a big job. I don't know if I'll be able to pull that cable through the conduit by hand, or if I'll have to rig up some sort of a winch machine to pull the cable. And then I have to pull the new cable through the same piece of conduit. I almost have to find first where the crush point is, where the big tree has fallen on the conduit and crushed it. Because if there's enough weight at that point on the ground, I won't be able to pull the new cable through the conduit. Yep. If it's crushed flat. Yep. Wow. It's all I need is another frickin' nightmare on top of all the other ones I got going on. So this means I can't winterize the shower like I wanted to, just to double check that it was good to go. Yeah, I'll have to pontificate and come up with a different way to do that. But boy, oh boy. Oh, I thought I had it solved with those loose lugs, and that's not the issue. Dang it. But I got my measuring stick for muskies. My first call was oh, that's an eagle. I saw a big bright white spot on the side of the hill, and I thought it was a big clump of mushrooms, and here it was the head of an eagle standing in the ditch eating a deer. I thought I would be able to, the first call I had was a MacGyver fix. Customer had a refrigerator, a Samsung refrigerator. It's out of warranty. And the latch mechanism on the freezer drawer failed, and it was actually holding the freezer door open about 1/8 of an inch, and warm air was getting into the freezer making snow. So the customer authorized me to do a MacGyver fix and modify it to make it work, instead of spending a couple $100 for a new door for the freezer. They don't really like the refrigerator anyway, they said. They're looking for a reason to get rid of it. But in the meantime, I got to fix the issue with the warm air getting into the freezer. So I made the modification. The customer signed off on it. So that's a first call complete with no parts needed. So that's awesome. I'm going to my last call now, which is also up in this area. Put some parts on a dryer. And hopefully that is working good when I leave, and that'll be another first complete, and it will be a successful day and a relatively early day, and I can get home and get some stuff done. No, I'm not going back out musky fishing today, although today is a totally different day than yesterday. It's overcast. It could be a good day on the water. Usually overcast days are better on clear water lakes. Sunny days are better on stained water lakes. But that's the general rule. But if I went out there this afternoon, I could be proven wrong on my body of water anyway. I haven't heard anything from Scrutchy yet. It's going on noon. She's sick. When she's healthy, she likes to sleep in and would literally sleep until noon if she was allowed to do so. So I could just imagine when she's sick and she's drowsy, she's going to sleep. So I haven't even initiated contact to disturb her. Yeah, she might have chimed in. I heard my phone indicate that there was a voicemail, but I'm not getting good signal up here by camp. I never do. So, but I'll check that when I'm done here. But yeah, we're moseying to the last one, and then it'll be another day in the books. So stay tuned.